Yep. Go ahead, Adrian.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming this morning. Really appreciate it. My name is Adrian Esposito, Executive Director of Citizens Campaign for the Environment. Let me start out by telling you who's here today, just for the record, because who's here today really signifies how important this issue is and how diverse the support for this issue actually is. We have today the one and only Suffolk County Executive Ed Romaine. We also, if you're going to clap for every person, we'll be here. That'll be the whole press conference. We also have with us Assemblywoman Rebecca Cassay. We have the town supervisor, Dan Panico. We have many Suffolk, sorry, Dan. We have many Suffolk County legislators. We have I did it again, Assemblyman Steve Engelbright. We have Suffolk County legislator Steve Engelbright. Suffolk County Legislator Jason Richburg, Suffolk County Legislator Jim Mezzarelli, Suffolk County Legislator Dominic Thorne. I did them as a group. We also have with us today Charlie Lefkowitz, who's from the Three Village Chamber of Commerce. And Suffolk Water Authority. We also have with us Jamie Franchi from the Long Island Contractors Association. We have George Hoffman from the Three Village Civic Association. We have Sarah Lansdale, the Planning Commissioner for Suffolk County. Barbara Ensign, Director of Operations for the Greater Port Jefferson Chamber of Commerce. We have Eric Alexander from Vision Long Island. We have Charlie McAteer, Port Jefferson Civic Association. Jerry Bingham, a rare appearance from the Long Island Railroad Commuter Council Chairman. Jerry.
I read your letters all the time.
I do too, Jerry. Thank you for your engagement and involvement. We have Zena Verinsky, Port Jeff Village trustee. We have the Port Jeff Village mayor with us, Mayor Lauren Shepard. We have Corinne Insura. I might have pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry. What is it?
Carmine.
Oh, Carmine.
Carmine.
That's my intern's handwriting.
Okay.
Carmine, who's with the president of the Village Chamber. Thank you. Three Village Chamber of Commerce, and also Jane Taylor, the executive director of the Three Village Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Why is such a diverse crowd here? Why do we have environmentalists with elected leaders, with businesses, with every level of government, from state government to county to town to villages? Why do we have the diversity of Republicans and Democrats all working together? Because this is a project that was designed and crafted to benefit the public good. 2 seconds of background. Lawrence Aviation Industries is an industry that operated from 1959 to the year 2003. It operated doing plating for the aviation purposes. And during that process, there were a lot of toxic chemicals used. Things like toluene, TCE, heavy metals, PCBs, oil, and sludge, and many other them. These contaminants were actually disposed of in old cesspools and leaching pools throughout the property. Then it became a toxic Superfund site. The area is approximately 120 acres. It's been cleaned up throughout the years, and just this year, at least the soil portion was delisted from the federal Superfund site, which is excellent. We have some more groundwater remediation that's continuing to happen. So, with that in mind, the property has 3 sections. 40 acres will be used for a solar farm. 40 acres was wisely purchased by the town of Brookhaven for open space. And the last 40 acres, that's why we're here today. Currently, we need the MTA and the DOT, Department of Transportation, to agree to allow for the train tracks to run on that property so that we can modernize our railroad and update it from an old polluting diesel railroad to be a train that is not polluting and be electrified. That's the goal here. This has been going on and on and on for over a decade now. We have a deadline. The deadline is in 30 days, June 30th. The clock is ticking. We're running out of time. And we're here today to call on Governor Hochul to get the Department of Transportation to get out of parked into gear and to drive this issue home to success. See what I did there? No. Sorry. Let's hear from some people who have been involved in this for well over a decade. But this is a community-crafted and supported plan that elected officials from all levels of government have worked very hard on for 15 years now. And we're down to the last few days to make it successful and to get the job done. So without further ado, let me introduce Suffolk County Executive Ed Romaine.
Thank you. I want to thank Adrian because she is one of the people in the background that has helped us. I want to thank Sarah Lansdale because this property now is owned by Suffolk Land Bank. This was a Superfund site that no one wanted to touch. No one paid taxes on forever. And the county stepped up under Sarah's leadership with the land bank. Before I became county executive, I was supervisor at the time, and for the last dozen years before I became county executive, this was top on one of our agendas. And the land bank took it over. And then I want to thank the governor, because DEC stepped up and knocked down all those derelict buildings where people were sleeping. There was a murder there. There was some assaults there, and they got rid of all those buildings. I also want to thank people who had the vision to create a greenway. Although the state DOT is saying, oh, that should be a bypass. A bypass highway? No. That's a greenway, and it's going to stay a greenway. And now they're giving us agita because the land bank, absolutely, land bank entered into a contract to get solar. And any money to get solar, we're going to reimburse the federal government, who spent well over $30 million cleaning up this site as a Superfund site. So that money will be used, not for us. It will produce energy, the right way to produce energy from the sun. And it will help repay the feds for cleaning up this property. I want to thank the town of Brookhaven. I was supervisor at the time. We decided to buy 40 acres in the middle, keep it forever wild. And I want to thank the vision. And Steve was there as an assembly person, supporting our vision on a state level. And we had to get our state senator involved a little bit. He was a little bit difficult at the beginning, to then use this, because at the end of the line, if you do electric, you need a rail yard.
Yes.
And this is a great thing, because this property, some of this property that we're looking at right now, can be used as a rail yard. And we're interested in that so that we can electrify the Port Jeff branch after all these years, turn away from diesel and go electric and have a system that works, and give the village, and our mayor is here, an opportunity to redevelop the old rail yard at the very eastern end of the line there by the condos over there. So, but we have an opportunity. What is preventing this opportunity? Someone at DOT said, well, you know, we could use that for something else. Well, that's nonsense, because we foiled them multiple times. They have nothing. That's just the regional director being a pain in the new you-know-what. And we're calling him out, because we have to have the state of New York working with us, working with the town, working with the county, working with the village, so that we can electrify this line. This should be done. This should not have been done the way it was done originally. This whole line should have been electric.
Yep. Yes.
And we can talk about moving the station up to this location so that we don't have a grade crossing at 112. And we can talk about the village repurposing the train station for village use, as it should be. So this is a grand plan with many components in it, all stalled by the regional director of DOT. I used to say DEC, but DEC have been very cooperative. I want to say thank you. And I particularly want to say thank you to our former DEC regional commissioner. Where are you?
He's right behind that.
I didn't see Peter. There he is. Peter, thank you.
Instrumental with the land bank.
Yes, also with the land bank. I want to say thank you to all the civic leaders, all the government leaders, all the support. This is not a partisan thing. This is for the best for Long Island.
That's right.
We're for Suffolk, first, last, and always. This is something that should have been done for Suffolk County and the residents of Suffolk. So, Governor, pick up the phone, speak to the regional director of DOT, and tell him, knock it off, work with DEC, let's get this done, work with the MTA. Guess what? How much do you think the land bank is charging the MTA for the 40 acres that we're giving them?
Go ahead, guess.
$10. This is the best land deal the MTA, which isn't known for its fiscal responsibility, this is the best land deal. This is the best land deal they'll ever make. So let's not pass this up because the DOT is blocking this. Stop blocking this. Let's everyone get on the same page. Let's row this boat in the same direction. Let's go forward. Let's move this island forward. Let's electrify this rail. Let's change the future of everything along the Port Jeff line from Huntington to Port Jeff.
Here, here.
Step aside, and I think Dan's up next. You're running the program.
Okay, well, I was going to have the Assemblywoman state.
I'm sorry.
this-
Right. You have the...
Ed's taking over here. Okay, next speaker we're going to have is New York State Assemblywoman Rebecca Cassay, whose district this is, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so as a freshman in the New York State Assembly, I entered my first budget process earlier this year, and I was told to swing big. So I had a couple of big asks for our district here. One of the biggest asks I had in the millions and billions of dollars that people request for the New York State budget was a $10 budget ask. I had all of my asks lined up. Is $500,000 for this. I got money for the Long Island State Vets Home, the Alzheimer's, millions, billions. And one of the asks, unfortunately, that was not granted was my $10 ask
Unbelievable.
for the land behind us. So after the budget numbers came out, I had a $10 bill in my pocket. And so I walked down in conference and I held it up and I said, guys, I'll pay for it. If that's the issue, if we don't have the money in the budget, I'll pay for it. And obviously it's not that. We'll see later, I'm also a woman of props and like to get the point across with that visual. But really, there are, as the county executive outlined, there's bureaucracy here that just isn't lining up. And so I've been really proud to be working on this since day one of my position in the assembly here, making sure that the DOT at the state level is aware, the MTA is aware, the chairs of the committees that oversee these issues in the assembly are aware, my leadership, and the governor's team as well. And so as the clock is ticking, and I really wanted to do the My Cousin Vinny reference there.
I got that. I sound like Marissa.
I know. I was
going to
say. I was waiting for it. Adrian. We're now in the final sprint of this, and I am so proud to be standing with so many government and community partners to get this over the line. I have confidence that we can get it done. I have meetings scheduled for this week, next week, with these folks up in Albany to be sure that they understand not just the importance of this to District 4, to the local community, but New York State has lofty green energy goals,
Yes.
lofty goals for decarbonization, and I cannot do enough to impress upon them how vital this opportunity is for making more green the MTA. This is something that we don't have big tracts of land along the Port Jefferson line to just choose from. This is an opportunity we don't want to lose. We know we can't sit on it forever. And so I've been urging them, do not lose this opportunity to further New York State's green goals as well. So I will continue in this fight. I know this is going to be top priority for all of us for the next 30 days or hopefully shorter when the contract gets signed. And I'm looking forward to celebrating that with everyone.
No more diesel.
No more diesel. No more.
So let's be very clear, though. The Department of Transportation should not put up a bureaucratic wall to prevent a project that is widely supported and brings immense public benefit. That's what today is about. So that's why we're calling on Governor Hochul to intercede and to do away with the red tape and to implement progress here, meaningful, substantive progress for the people of Long Island. And now,
But thank her for taking down the buildings.
and we thank her for taking down the buildings. But right now, also, we want to hear from another very strong elected leader who believes very strongly in this project, a force to be reckoned with, Town Supervisor of Brookhaven, Dan Panico. There you go.
Well,
Now you have to deliver.
oh, I will. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that should be a no-brainer, right? The county executive mentioned the DEC. I will tell you, in over 16 years in government, the DOT, substantially more difficult to deal with than the DEC. And if we're going to further climate goals, if we're going to further green energy, this here should be a ground ball. But everything is difficult. Everything takes too long. And in dealing with New York State, I will tell you, I have found a significant disconnect from the words down to the actions. And the governor really has to get control of the functionaries, referred to as bureaucrats, that are to carry out her agenda and the legislative agenda of New York State, because by not doing this, it is an impediment, and everything that we do is interconnected. In order to build housing and wanting to put that housing where it makes sense with rail service, this could only help to redevelop for economic development.
That's right.
That is needed. This could help. So many of the goals that are espoused by the governor would be accomplished with this seemingly simple transaction, which the Assemblywoman has offered to pay the $10 for. And you know, you almost have to be facetious, because if you tried to explain this to anyone else not from Long Island, they would think you have three heads. This is the MTA and DOT. These aren't foreign entities, you know, foreign to each other. This makes sense. And whether it's electrified or it's clean hydrogen, green hydrogen. I will tell you, we all know Matty Arasich. I purposely walk away from him now, not to hear about hydrogen anymore.
Me too.
It is a chance that we have, and government at the highest levels should lead. So, you know, from the town of Brookhaven, our simple ask is to get this done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Also, in his role as Assemblyman, Steve Engelbright, and now in his role as a Suffolk legislator, has been a longtime supporter and advocate for this particular project. Let's hear from him.
So this is not just a little more than 10 years. This is about 40 years of advocacy.
40?
More like 40 years of advocacy. And beginning that journey was this gentleman.
Yeah.
We were both elected a long time ago.
He was 20
Early
when he
Jurassic,
started.
I think it was. But we've worked cooperatively over these many years. And our plea today to the governor is to understand the significance of this Louisiana purchase for Long Island. It will revolutionize the transportation between the great urban hub of New York City and Suffolk County. It will eliminate a deadly at-grade crossing, as the county executive has indicated. It will revitalize the business community. We have many people from the business community here. All of these are good reasons why the DOT's objections need to be examined closely. And we did examine those objections, and they were found to be
Baseless.
baseless. So that's a real problem. It's a problem, however, the solution is for the executive, who appoints all of these cabinet level and regional director positions, to understand and to hear us. So we ask Governor Hochul that you hear us. Please help make the revolution of the North Shore possible, and indeed the revolution of the transport for all commuters on Long Island much better than it is now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Also, let's hear also from Charlie Lefkowitz. Charlie is with the Three Village Chamber of Commerce, because this project's also very important to our chamber and to the economic growth and stability of this community as well. Charlie?
Thank you, Adrian. Just a couple of off-the-script comments. I just want to thank, present and past elected officials on the federal level, on the state level, on the county level, the town level, and the village level. This project has certainly been on the forefront of this community and the community leaders that have not given up to make this happen. For decades, the toxic legacy of Lawrence Aviation Industrial stood as a symbol of neglect and missed opportunity. But today, we are turning the page right here. After years and even decades, as mentioned, navigating layers of bureaucratic red tape. And ladies and gentlemen, this is really what this is, bureaucratic red tape. We're finally transforming this blighted land into a beacon of economic revitalization. The adaptive reuse of this site will really create a dual-purpose hub. It'll be a new rail yard for the Long Island Railroad, improving transit efficiency, and also creating, and I know Maddie's going to like this, good-paying union jobs.
That's right.
Very important.
And we should add, that's why the unions also wrote to the governor and asked her to please intervene and get this done.
And there is not an elected official between Port Jefferson and Huntington that does not support. This is not partisan politics here. There are people from all walks of life and different parties standing together. So improving the transit efficiency is so important. And then the clean energy and the revenues for generations to come from the solar. This is just not a cleanup of toxic site. This is an investment right here in Long Island, in Suffolk County, in Port Jeff Station, in Port Jefferson. This process has been long, and the community never gave up. And I just want to say that over the last half a dozen years, I've been on a couple of calls with Sarah, Peter, and any officials that are willing to listen. Sarah and Peter were tireless in your efforts to keep this going. I'm calling upon, and the business community is calling upon, Governor Hochul, the DOT, the MTA, to close this deal now. Let's stop the bureaucratic red tape. Let's cut through it. And I have our executive director here, Jane Taylor. We're going to cut the bureaucratic red tape.
Well, we're going to let the mayor speak first,
the mayor.
and then we're going to do that.
Okay, so next up, and someone that has come on and is very supportive of these efforts is current mayor of the Village of Port Jeff, Lawrence Shepro.
Yes,
come on
let's
up.
have the mayor go first.
Thank you. It's just overwhelmed to be surrounded by all these very amazing elected officials and community representatives from the business districts and the civics. And what I'd like to say about Port Jeff and what the Empire State Development Organization is doing for Port Jeff to help us revitalize our South District, south of North Country Road and north of the train station, is sort of counterintuitive to what's happening right now here, where they are not supporting the redevelopment of this area and moving the needle on this property. So let's ask them to take a look at this holistically. You're helping us a great deal by providing funding for developers to beautify and revitalize our up-down district. At the same time, where we want to improve our quality of life holistically, take a look at this property and see what you can do to keep the extension of the revitalization going. So that's what I'm saying today, and thank you all for giving us the opportunity to express this.
Thank you. So here's the bottom line. We're calling on Governor Hochul to compel the DOT to sign the agreement with the MTA to get this done. Now, those of you that are reporters, if you call the DOT, they might say something like, well, that we need to get an easement, we need easement language. Yes, they've had years to do that. Yes. They could also sign the agreement and work the easement out later. Mm-hmm. These are two state agencies, not individual businesses, not different levels of government.
Not foreign nations.
Not foreign nations. Not
You
even
think they were?
Not even different states. These are two state agencies that could get the contract signed and work the easement language out later. Mm-hmm. Also, one of the challenges here is that the DOT just doesn't want to do it. And that is a failure of government to serve the public. And that's why we're calling on Governor Hochul to intercede, to help us, and to make this project successful. This is the last extension that's allowed. All the other extensions have been used up. This is the last one. It ends on June 30th. So the clock is ticking. We need help. We need Governor Hochul. Yep. Mm-hmm. And yes, oh, and Legislator Mazzarelli wants to say one more word too. Legislator Jim Mazzarelli.
Thank you, Adrian. I want to congratulate the community to get to the point that we were at. And I know that there's a slew of people here from the North Shore. I hail from the South Shore, and I know I love my community. And I know that these folks behind me love their community. So to get those buildings down and get to the point where we are now, I congratulate them. This is a beautiful tract of land. I mean, you take one look around and you know it's pristine. But a little bit about finances. So we talk about the revitalization of economies of scale for a project like this. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. One thing that we failed to mention today is the #1 employer here, which is the State University of New York.
Oh, yeah.
Stony Brook
Yes.
Hospital
Yes.
is going to be a huge benefactor of getting this connected.
Yes.
And electrifying the rail?
Electrifying the rail and getting that employer, again, which is a state agency. So if we can all get on the same page here with the governor, with the MTA, help out our tremendous, wonderful Stony Brook Hospital and connecting through Port Jefferson and Smithtown and Huntington will all benefit. So please, let's get on the same page. I want to thank the Land Bank, who has been steadfast in stewarding this project.
Sarah Lansdale.
Sarah Lansdale, Peter Scully, and we cannot leave out the staff of the Land Bank.
Yes.
They work hard every day to move this project, and it's kind of like a David and Goliath thing. They've just been fighting and fighting and fighting and pushing it to the point where we are today. And as Adrian said, this is the final deadline.
Yes.
So please, Governor Hochul, help us out here to help us and to help yourself in the state to do the prudent thing here, whether it be financially or for this beautiful tract of land. So thank you very much.
All right.